everybody, welcome back. I'm sharing this thing with you here today. And this is another purchase I've made that just came in from Chuyu Culture. And this is the A5 version of their one day, one page grid diary for 2020. Now, if you've seen one of my earlier videos, you'll know that I bought the same version of this planner in the B6 size instead of the A5 size here. And that's what this is. This one came with a cover and I've done an entire video on it, so I won't go into it, but I've been using this for 2020 as a bullet journal and I kind of love it. It's really nice. I like the paper, and the main thing I have issue with is the fact that it is quite big, and that means it doesn't fit in a lot of the covers that I use because it is wider and taller than an actual B6 size notebook. And when I first got it, I was going to cut it down, but I made the decision last minute not to cut it down and see how I would like it being taller and wider than what I'm used to. I probably should have cut it down, but once I started writing in here and filling it out, I didn't want to take it to a store and have it cut down where somebody could read it. I knew that after I finished with this, I was going to be using it again because I liked it enough. And you'll notice, by the way, that I have been shoving this in and out of leather folios and covers so often that the cover has bent quite a bit. And same with the back. So it's not really holding up that well in that respect. But the paper itself, I just love it. And so why do I have the A5 version here? Especially since I really do like the B6 size. That is because I want to take this and I'm going to cut it down to the B6 size. I'm going to be cutting it to a size smaller than this. Now you might wonder, why didn't I just buy another B6 notebook and then cut that down to size instead of wasting more money on this bigger notebook and cutting it down to something smaller than this? And that's because of the grid spacing. I'll show you what I use pretty much on every day. Is I have this grid, and since I'm using this as a bullet journal, I really am ignoring the fact that there's dates at the top right here. So I was thinking, if I were to cut it down into a smaller size, I might as well just chop off all of the dates at the top here because I never refer to them anyway. And while I can kind of live with the visual clutter, because every day when I use my bullet journal, I just ignore the top. While I can ignore that, I wouldn't mind, not having here. So I decided, well, I will just order the bigger size, the A5 size. And then I'll just cut this off, and then here will be my grid space, and then I can kind of use it more as a blank notebook, which is kind of what I really like having. I will say as an update, because when I ordered this off Pinkoi like I did this one, and this time I had changed the shipping option. And to keep it short, the last time when I ordered this, I decided to go through a third party for shipping because I thought that would be cheaper, but it ended up this shipping to ship this to me cost a lot more than I expected. So I decided to go, when I ordered this from Chuyu Culture again, off Pinkoi, I decided to go with the different shipping option, which is having Chuyu Culture ship it directly to me. And that was pretty good decision, and I should have done it the first time. It's kind of nice because this company is in Taiwan and I'm halfway across the world. I believe there's a 12 or 13 hour difference. So I ordered this on a Thursday night, which is Friday morning their time. And when I went to bed on Thursday night and I woke up Friday morning, it had already shipped. So by Friday morning, it was already Friday evening at their time. And that means it's just basically overnight shipping, literally. And it did go through the regular mail, through the Taiwan's postal service, and then my country's postal service, and it still just took 1 week. I got it. I woke up Friday morning to the email, and then Friday afternoon, I got this in the mailbox, although I had to wait until Friday evening before I could pick it up. So that was pretty fast, and that was pretty nice. Now, this is pretty much an exact dupe of this, but you'll notice that there is a different cover, because this has a plain beige cover, cardstock cover, and this one is pink. But it really is the same, because you see this, there's a cellophane wrapping here. And let me show you the back of this journal as well. It is pink, like a hot pink, and it's got this floral design on it with a plastic wrapping. But if you take out the wrapping, that plastic wrapping is not very sturdy, by the way. It is going to rip. I think I just ripped it there. You'll see that the cover is not really attached to the notebook. It is just a cardboard cover. It's like a book wrap or a book sleeve. And then now this notebook just looks exactly like the B6 one. This is the A5 and the B6. So let me just compare it here. Like that. They have that much more space, width, and that much more height. And this is great. By the way, I wasn't sure if that was going to be like this, because I don't really like the hot pink color, but it was the only color left available for sale. And then, so the layout is all the same. I've shown it in my video already, but let's just show you the daily pages. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to Staples, and I'm going to cut off the top, cut off this entire header here, and then cut off the side so that it will be a B6 size. And the B6 size that I'm trying to get to is this one. This is the Muji notebook. So let's say if I wanted to get it down to this side, I would be cutting, let's see if that works. I would be cutting it right at this line here so that I could get to the top, and then I would be cutting off the bottom here and then the side here to get to this side. And so that's basically why I got this. Now another reason why I got this right now, especially since it's been what, 1.5 months in here, and I'm you know, progressing quite well in here. I think I will take up 5 or 6 months in here maximum. Why did I get it now was because FOMO, fear of missing out. Because this is a data planner, I was thinking, well, they're not going to keep on producing it throughout the year. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. And I knew I had this bookmarked because I was thinking about getting the A5 and chopping it down. And when I checked the Pinkoi website, they said that there were 5 remaining. And they do have this in a pink and a green color, but the green color was sold out. I may have said that already. So I was just worried that I wouldn't be able to get it in May or June when I'm finished with this notebook. And I wanted my next notebook, what would I do? So that's where the FOMO came in. I decided I was just going to buy it now and then save it for May or June when it rolls around. So I've never gone to have any notebook cut down. I know how I can do it myself. I mean, I could just take a ruler and slice it, but I've done it before and the results are not good. So I think I really will go to Staples and have it professionally cut down with a... If it doesn't really work out, well, I don't know. It was kind of worth it to me anyways. Because really, this is not that expensive. I think the shipping adds to the price, but the actual notebook itself is not that expensive. This is 68 Tomoe River paper, which is why I like it so much. And for it to be at such a relatively low price, I'm just happy to have it, even if I don't use it as my bullet journal as a successor to this one. Alright, I'm back. I got this cut down at Staples. it was pretty easy. I didn't expect it to be easy, and I didn't actually expect him to do it right there while I was watching them. But I just drew out, and maybe I'll insert a picture of what I did, but I drew out on this cover 3 different lines on the top, the side, and the bottom, showing them where to cut, and then they just took that and cut it. I will compare this to the actual Chuyu Culture B6, their B6 sized planner. And oh, it's in a cover right now. I just put this little Forever Friends logo. It's not mine, just because it's February and it's Valentine's Day, but let me just take this out. It is just made out of cardstock, and then I put a clear acetate window at the front so that if I can show it to you, then you can remove this piece of paper as needed. But that's because, you know, this is pretty boring. All right, so this is the original size B6 that they offer. I didn't cut it down. And this is the A5 cut down to the B6 size that I like. You can see how much shorter the new size is, and width-wise, not much narrower. But this shorter height makes it much easier to fit into my various traveler's notebooks. In terms of the functionality, there is some loss of functionality. And I have a couple of screenshots where I drew out, like I knew that I wanted to cut this notebook on all 3 sides. So I went through the original A5 notebook, and then I drew out some lines just to get an idea of what it would look like after it got cut down. So I will try to insert those screenshots into the video just so you can see. There is some loss of functionality here when you cut it down. Like this is the year at a glance. This was supposed to be 2020 and this is 2021. So you can see that the months here on the left are all cut down and you can't read it, or you can't see all of it. And same on this side. So if I wanted to put a year at a glance on this particular page, then I might have to print something out by myself and just tape over it. Same thing with the monthly calendar. Now this one is nicer because you can still see all of the weeks or the days of the month here horizontally. It's just that the sidebar is cut off, and then all of the boxes here. But then on the side, this is where everything is cut off. This is the Sunday. This spread is not so bad, I think, but if I wanted to make it look nicer, then I may have to print something out and tape over it again. Now on to the daily pages. So here is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the top header to be cut off. Maybe I'll show it here. Better to show it here. So I got all of this cut off from here, and it just starts right under that timeline where it says 6, and this says 6, which is great. So I don't need to see the header at the top, but you will see at the bottom there are still the little quotes here, which you can see. I thought about just cutting off this off as well, just making this notebook a little bit shorter than necessary, but I thought I can live with it. The calendar is still visible here, and it is also cut off, so this little part of the page is useless. Otherwise, I really like this. I like looking at an almost blank grid notebook with just some kind of blank space here and a little bit of clutter here. So this would be perfect for me to put my bullet journal. Let me see if it's worth showing you the back note pages, because I haven't really. Well, this one looks nice and still usable. This map is not really usable now. The favorites list is still okay for part of it. And the free list page is fine. This one is not so useful now. And the emergency phone numbers, you could still use it as a lined page. And this one is fine. So overall, I do like how it looks once it's been cut down, and I'll be excited to move into it after I'm finished this one. It has been a couple of days since I filmed the original first part of this video, and I have noticed that the A5 notebook, this planner here, has sold out, including this pink one, which is unfortunate, but they do still have this on sale. It's just that it is in the version that comes with a cover. And this is not the same cover. This is the one that came with my original B6, but they do have something like this for the A5 size, and it's just a different pattern. And so if you really wanted to get this notebook, it is still available, but you have to get the cover as well, which means that it adds a little bit to the cost, but really it's quite minimal in my opinion. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.